So I finally found a stress ball that I like, and I've lost it pretty much 3 or 4 times within 2 weeks just because it's black and my desk is black and I have a lot of black things on my desk. So sometimes it just rolls around, I can't find it, and then since there's not a lot of light coming in during the day, it's pretty hard to find, so I lose it constantly. But today we're gonna go ahead and talk about lookalike audience. We're gonna go ahead and dive into it and how to create them. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you guys who plan to make Facebook ads a thing, for those of you guys who want to make a career, or not necessarily a career, but who really want to make a living off of Facebook ads and are planning to take it 100% serious, you have to look inside lookalike audience. That's something that you have to do, you have to utilize when it comes time to advertise, just because it allows you to scale with so much ease and it allows you to expand your reach. For those of you who have no idea what lookalike audience is or what it's used for, make sure to watch the video all the way through. I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to be showing you guys how to create one and whatnot. So essentially what a lookalike audience is a group of people that Facebook found that are similar to another group of people. So in order to create a lookalike audience, you first have to create a custom audience. And essentially in that custom audience, you're grouping together everybody from your website or that did a certain event on a website. For example, if you have a picture that has to do about dogs and people purchased from your website, you could go ahead and create a custom audience based off everybody who purchased from that website. And then you're gonna go create a lookalike audience based on the people who purchased from you. So let's go ahead and dive into the computer and let me show you how to create one. So we wanna go up here in our menu, we wanna go to all tools, and then we wanna look for audiences. Then like I said, we wanna create a custom audience. We have to do this first in order to create our lookalike audiences, because our custom audience is where Facebook is gonna go ahead and grab all the information to go look for new audiences. We're gonna create a custom audience. So then you're gonna have the selection. We're just gonna select the website traffic. Don't worry about the rest. We don't have to focus on that, especially if you guys are drop shipping. We're just gonna be focusing on website traffic. So we're gonna go ahead and select that. So then you're gonna be brought up to this section. So here include people who meet any of the following criteria. By this, they mean the things inside this little block right here. So if you have more things, this means that the pixel is gonna, or the custom audience is gonna be created based off any of these criteria here. It could be this or this or this. So if you select all, then you get really specific. So you could have somebody that meets multiple criteria. So basically this custom audience is gonna be anybody who added to the cart and added payment information within 30 days. So they have to meet both of this criteria, or we could select any, and this basically means that it could be this or this. And we could also get a lot more detail by excluding people. For example, we could go ahead and add everybody who added to the cart and exclude people who purchased within the last 30 days. So basically we're creating a custom audience based off everybody who added to the cart, and we're excluding people who purchased. So everybody who purchased is not gonna be counted in our custom audience. But in this case, we're just gonna keep it very simple, and we're gonna say everybody who purchased within the last 20 days. I'm just gonna go with 20 days because I've been using this account for 20 days, or I've had some ads running through this account in the past 20 days, so I'm just gonna go ahead and select it. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and name it, and we're gonna create the audience. So once we create the audience, we wanna go ahead and create a lookalike audience, and we're gonna be brought here. So for the source, we're just gonna select our audience. So we're gonna click on other source, and then we're gonna look for our custom audience. And here it is, it's called test. So then we just go ahead and select it, and we have to choose our location. For our location, we're gonna choose the United States, just because that's where I was selling. And if you guys were selling in the United Kingdom, then you're obviously gonna select that as your location, or Canada. So basically wherever you guys were getting sales from, you're gonna put that in your location. And try to not put multiple locations on here, just stick to a single location. Then for our audience, we could easily just create a single lookalike audience. But what I recommend you guys do is go to show advanced options, and then do at least 3 or 4. So you could do from 0 to 1%, you could do from 2 to 3%, and you could do one that's 3 to 5%. So basically this is going to create 4 different lookalike audiences, and each lookalike audience is going to be a bit different from the other one. So the 1% is going to be people who closely resemble the lookalike audience or the custom audience, and then 10 is going to be that they loosely resemble them. So we're just going to stick with 4, and I'm just going to spread them out just a little bit more because I think I barely got 100 sales, and you have to have 100 purchases, 100 add to carts, 100 initiated checkouts from a given country in order for it to work. It doesn't work if you guys only have like 5 checkouts or 5 purchases, because Facebook needs to grab all that information, or it needs to grab multiple information from the pixel. And if you guys don't have that much information, it's really, the algorithm can't really work with it. So make sure that you have at least 100 purchases, add to carts, or whatever it is that you're creating a custom audience for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make 3 lookalike audiences. You guys could do 3 or 4, it's up to you. 4 is if you guys wanna go a little bit more precise and test things out. 3 if you wanna be a little bit loose with it. So it's up to you guys, this is personal preference. I'm just gonna go with 3 for this one. Then you just go ahead and let it do its thing. When you first create the lookalike audience, it's gonna say below 1,000, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about it, don't freak out. Just give it some time and you're gonna see that it's gonna start populating it. So as you see here, these were below 1,000, and then after about 2 hours, it switched to 4.3 million, 1.8 million, 2.1 million, and so forth. So don't freak out or don't worry if you guys see this right away. It's totally normal, just give it some time. So after you create your lookalike audience, you obviously wanna use your lookalike audience. So the way we do that is we create an ad like we normally would, then we go over here under custom audience, then you're gonna go ahead and select lookalike audience, and then just find the one that you want. In this case, we're gonna go with the ones we created. So what was it called? We're just gonna go with the test 4 to 6%. And that's how you add the custom audience to your ad. Now, a question that I get asked a lot is whether or not to add detailed targeting to your custom audience, or to even worry about the gender and location and whatnot. And my recommendation is yes, actually go ahead and add that. Although for detailed targeting, you could test out to see what works for you. Sometimes for detailed targeting, it's best if you don't put anything and you just leave the custom audience or your lookalike audience. And other times it's better when you have a custom audience and top of that you have detailed targeting, because sometimes it's worked out for me where I have both custom audience and detailed targeting, and then other times it's just been better with the custom audience. So make sure you test that out. But what I always recommend you guys fill out is the location, the age, and the gender, and the language. So that's what you guys should definitely fill out all the time. But for detailed targeting, that's something that you guys have to test out and see if it works for you or not. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys are using lookalike audiences, and if you guys are not, hopefully you study up on it, because it's something that could definitely take you up to the next level. It's something that's gonna help you out with your ads, and it's gonna help you out to reach new audiences when you've exhausted your previous audience. So definitely look into lookalike audiences if you plan to take Facebook ads seriously. And don't forget, if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below with your questions, and I'll be making videos based off your guys' questions, and I'll also be answering them in the comment section. Holy shit, I almost got tongue-tied. So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one.